FlutterFlow versus Bubble. You're going to be learning 5 things. We're going to be talking about key features, the pricings, which one I would choose, how you can get started and start making money with these two platforms. And we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room, about Bubble at the end. Let's go. Let's first of all, what are the features and what's going on with FlutterFlow? FlutterFlow is a platform where you can build applications, and it's really easy to get started and to scale your version 1. Bubble is a platform where you can pretty much build anything you want in with no code. With visual building, you can pretty much build anything. Now, the key features of FlutterFlow and Bubble, I would really focus on what are you looking to try to do, because there are so many different features that you can be doing or using. FlutterFlow, for instance, if you are looking for really good design, the animations, the push notifications, if you're using mobile app, that's what I would be looking for FlutterFlow. Although FlutterFlow can be used as a mobile app, and now they've broken into creating web pages and web apps, they're like bread and butter. I would say what sets them apart is creating really good apps that you can download from the App Store. But there are tons of features that you can be looking at that you can get with FlutterFlow. With Bubble, when we're looking at what it can do, again, I would focus on what the functionality you're looking for. You can create marketplaces with Bubble. You can create internal tools. You can create software as a service. You can create SaaS products that can scale. So it really depends on what you're trying to do with Bubble, but there's quite a bit you can do with Bubble. I will say, if we're looking at design and all those things, Bubble's design, although it's been 10 years plus, I just don't think the design has really scaled like how FlutterFlow has. It's a beautiful design. There's so many components that allow it to make it like a modern app versus Bubble. You can do the fundamentals, and you have to have a lot of creativity. And you've got to use other people's either plugins or templates to make it look good, honestly. But it's very powerful. I'll say that. Now, past the features, let's just talk about pricing. What are we looking at? For FlutterFlow, you can start for free, and depending on what you're trying to do, you can scale up. If you're going to be wanting to export the code and to have integrations with a database, you're going to be able to do that at $30, right? So you can use the core features, pre-built templates, the Firebase integration, so the backend that you can build with it, APK download, and then code download. So that'd be $30. If you don't want to even export the code and you're just building and just testing it out, you can start for free. I would really start there. Once you go pro, then you can actually do a one-click app translation with Google Translate, which is awesome. And you can deploy it, or you can deploy it to the app and Play Store. So that's going to be at $70. What I would say here is you can get traction at $0 or $30, test it, get paying customers before you launch. But you can do that with pre-sales and all these other different things before you start investing at $70, which is a great deal, in my opinion, especially with all the things that you get. Now, again, for the core platform features, you can do that from $0 onward. So that's not going to stifle any of the building process. It's not going to be like a freemium unlock. You can just build it from scratch, but you can't use templates. You can build it, use all the stuff you find at the marketplace. You can do tons of things, but to make it on the App Store, it's going to be $70. But to notice, also, you can download the code. And if you didn't want to pay for FlutterFlow anymore, you could still keep the code and you could stop using FlutterFlow. I wouldn't suggest it, but if you're worried about being stuck on a platform or just the economics of it, you could export it and you'd be good to go. And we'll talk about a little bit later why I would continue to use FlutterFlow, but you got to do what's right for you. Regarding Bubble, there's 2 things that we want to talk about with pricing. And I've done videos, there's going to be links down below, because this is a big thing with Bubble, because they are changing their pricing. Now, I will just say, to make it super, super simple to just see, you can start for free with Bubble. It's not a problem. You can start with the basics. And we'll go into the elephant in the room at the end, talking about the pricing changes and what everyone's talking about with Bubble. But the summary is you can start for free, work on Bubble, do all of these things, see if you like it, and then go from there. All right. let's go into the next part. Let's go into which one I would choose. If we're looking at FlutterFlow or if we're looking at Bubble, which one would I choose? I'm going to go with FlutterFlow. Now, I will put a caveat there. In the past, I've done reviews years before. I'd say it depends, and it still does. It depends on what kind of app you're trying to create. But if I'm looking at which platforms that I see the advancement in the direction that I like, I'm going to go with FlutterFlow. I like the exporting of code, so I can take it with me if I want to. The team is releasing different features almost weekly, and they're listening to their community. That's a big plus for me. And FlutterFlow, I just see more and more things being added. For example, AI Gen. There's a link down below to the feature that I was talking about here, where you can actually be building different pages in FlutterFlow with different AI prompts. So if you've ever used ChatGPT, where you're prompting and you're asking for an answer, you can be doing this where you're just taking text and it's actually going to go from text to app. That's crazy. So the team is really, really, I would say, innovative. And there's tons of things that you can do with OpenAI, and the list goes on and on. And it looks beautiful. I love working with FlutterFlow. Now, I will say I continue to work with clients, and we build certain SaaS and internal tools with Bubble. So it just depends on what you're trying to create. But this goes into the elephant in the room that we'll talk about in 1 second about the pricing. So I mentioned talking about making money. How can you be doing this? We have something called the 50 plus high profit side hustles. You can download for free. You can see how, if you're going to be using Bubble or FlutterFlow, how you can be making money from your skills, learning it, making sure that you can be a service provider, providing templates, all these different things, and examples how people are making their money and how much they're making right now with no code tools. Take a look at that. And if you still want to know more about what's going on with no code in general in the industry, we have a whole industry report that's going to break down what's happening this year and what's happening in the future. So check that out. All right. So we're going to go back to the elephant in the room. Okay. So this was announced in April 2023 that they were making some changes to Bubble's pricing. Now, I did a whole video about what I think about the pricing, and the summary is I don't really think this is a huge deal because they are VC funded, which means that they're getting money to scale their business, which is great. It allows them to provide more things to their customers. But with that exchange, among other reasons, they have they have to make more money. They got to be more profitable to give back more earnings to their investors. So they have increased the pricing. Now they've been around for 10 years. They haven't really increased the price. So I ain't mad at that. Just Shopify increased their prices as well. But the problem that we're seeing with a lot of developers and builders is how they're doing a certain feature, and that is the workload in Bubble. And the other video goes into the details, but the summary is there's a lot of red tape, or there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you miscalculate the workload, which means you could be spending hundreds, and if the app was big enough, thousands of dollars more than what you're intended to do because the workflow was wrong. Okay. Now, they also mentioned that you can contact their team for help in all of those things, especially if you're an agency owner. But a lot of people are seeing that their apps that they originally thought was going to be a lot cheaper, because of the price changes, it doesn't make financial sense for them to continue. So it really depends on what kind of app you're trying to create. But what we say all the time on this channel, and I'm going to say it again, is I'm all about that money. You need to create a software as a service, a SaaS, a SWAS, software with a service, whatever kind of business, you got to make some money. So if it's not profitable, that's a hobby. And some people are creating with Bubble, Glide, FlutterFlow, whatever, and they have the intent to only have this as a hobby, but there's always a trade-off there. So for the most part, you've got to figure out ways to make money, either by sponsorship, ads, or paying customers. And that's really important. If you have the money to just do it as a hobby and you want to invest into it, but for the vast majority, builders, they want to make some kind of money off of this. So you've got to figure out either talking to your customer earlier, doing MVPs, doing pre-sales to validate before you're going to be scaling from there. That is the main outcry that we've seen with the community with these changes. Also, they announced with this change, they're kind of phasing it in. So for the next 18 months of existing apps, you're going to be able to, well, I'll just read it. It says for existing apps, let me zoom in here. Says for existing apps, you will have the choice to either A, remain on your existing plan for up to 18 months with a 10% increase starting on May 1st, 2023, or B, switch over to one of the new plans detailed below. Okay, so they're giving you basically a leeway of 18 months to make this transition, which is nice. But some people are like, I don't want to see this at all. And also, too, I'm trapped on Bubble. I want to take my stuff. Well, that enters the conversation again with FlutterFlow because you're going to be able to take the code. It's allowing you to use Flutter. So FlutterFlow is on the open source code, which is Flutter, created by Google. You can just use it and then leave, and you don't have to use FlutterFlow. You're not dependent on a platform or if something happens. So that's the big thing right now. Do you want to be locked in with Bubble or FlutterFlow? Now, whatever you decide to use, keep in mind there's benefits why you would stay on a platform. For example, the benefits of FlutterFlow is if you don't want to deal with just being in coding or having errors and you want to visually build, you have the best of both worlds. You can always take your code, but you can stay with FlutterFlow and expand from there. With Bubble, some people have seen that they have stayed with them for years and years, and this isn't a big deal, and they want to scale and they want to stay with Bubble. That's okay. Just keep in mind, what are you looking to do? Where, what are your priorities? Do you have paying customers? How do you want to scale? All of those things. And from there, you can make a decision for yourself. But again, from what the future is happening and what we see in the landscape, I'm going to go with FlutterFlow right now. But if you're staying with Bubble, let me know what kind of apps you're trying to create. What are you doing? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want more details or if you want more videos like this, comparisons, let me know in the comment section, and we'll see you in the next video.